call me Mystic Mike because I predict these things.
Duško Todorović takes on Zach Reese this Saturday at UFC Fight Night Vegas 107. And both of these guys kind of have their backs against the wall. Duško not having the most success as of late. Zach Reese coming off of a loss. Kind of had, he's 2-2 in the UFC. Kind of put up or shut up for both of these guys. Is Zach Reese, is he somebody who we should be on the lookout in the UFC for? And Duško Todorović, maybe, one more loss will get him his walking papers. So Duško Todorović, 31 years old, 6'1", with a 74-inch reach, 12-5 in his career, and 3-5 in the UFC. He wrestled on scholarship back in Serbia, and he's a jiu-jitsu black belt and a taekwondo black belt, but he doesn't have the most success with his takedowns in the UFC, though. Chidi Njokuani was able to nullify his grappling, get the KO. Todorović, he struggled with Jordan Wright, which isn't a good sign. Couldn't get his takedowns, was looking to go after leg locks on bottom, was just kind of taking tons of shots, eating a lot of damage versus getting back up to his feet. Was taken down 3 times in that fight by Jordan Wright. Luckily, it came out like a bat out of hell and got Jordan Wright out of there, who's just exhausted, and got the TKO over him. But had a knee injury against Christian Leroy Duncan, and then coming off of a brutal knockout against Mansour Abdul Malik in his last performance. So hasn't had the best performances in the UFC, and his wins aren't against the best competition. Jordan Wright, who was beaten in the first round, they just kind of gassed. He ended up getting the ground and pound win in that one. Maki Pitolo just out-grappled him, out-positioned him, ground and pounded him on the ground in the first round. And Daquan Townsend, who was 21-11 at the time, losing to Punahele Soriano by knockout, Gregory Rodriguez by decision, Chidi Njokuani knockout, Christian Leroy Duncan knee injury, and then Malik by knockout. But decent striking, has really good kicks. Good high kicks, good leg kicks, very flexible, good dexterity in the legs, feints well to help set up his striking and also his takedowns. Kind of keeps his chin up in the air, which isn't good considering he's been knocked out 3 times in the last 4 years. And, really looking to use his striking to set up his takedowns and get fights to the ground. Zach Reese, 31, 6'4", 77-inch reach with an 8-2 record. Is that right? Yeah, 8-2. So he'll be 3 inches taller, have a 3-inch reach advantage, and these guys are both 31 in their primes. But Zach Reese is a really good striker, rangy, long and rangy, with power on the feet. Had that quick KO over Julian Marquez, landed the liver kick, left hook, right uppercut, I think it was, to put him out in like the first 20 seconds. But he's also taken a lot of damage. Zach Reese, the slam against Brundage, he's doing a lot of work from guard there. I think he had like a mirror lock to a triangle, and Zach Reese slammed him on his head to get out of the said triangle, which, it is what it is. That type of slam on the side of your head, which is hard to defend when you're getting slammed on the side of your head, that would put out anybody. But it is damage. It is, concussive KO blows that he's been taking. Had the knockout in his last fight against Azamat Bakoyev, which was a ground and pound KO from guard, which is just wild. We don't really see that very often anymore. Usually guys are, knocking somebody down, following them to the mat, getting in their guard, and then, finishing them there. But this was a, full guard, wrapped up guard KO. And, if you rewatch that, like 3 of those shots that he landed were to the back of Zach Reese, which is, what are you going to do about that? It's kind of like when you're standing and somebody turns their head, or you throw a hook and it reaches around the back. I mean, if he's in guard on his back, it's really, I don't really think it's your fault if he's ducking and covering and moving and you hit the back of his head. But I don't think Duško will have the ground and pound that Bakoyev has. I just don't think he's got the control, the strength. I don't think he's as big and strong as Bakoyev. But Zach Reese, his takedown defense is suspect, though. He was taken down pretty easily by Cody Brundage. Bakoyev took him down. Jose Medina took him down. Eli Aronov took him down. So I think Duško knows that his pathway to victory is to get this fight to the ground, look to do ground and pound, stay safe from submissions. But I am going to go with Zach Reese in this one. Duško was coming off of a knee injury. I'm assuming it was an ACL injury because he was out for like a year and a half. and then came back and just took a brutal beating from Mansour Abdul Malik, and that was back in November. So, you know, has an ACL tear in March of 2023, sits out a year and a half, comes back, gets KO'd, out for another 6 months, and now he's back fighting Zach Reese, and he's been KO'd 3 times in the last 4 years. I think Reese can handle himself on the ground against Duško. He has a very active offensive guard from bottom. He's long and rangy, which helps with, you know, his arm bars, his triangle setups, even goes for mirror locks, and throws really good elbows off his back. He's looking to damage guys off of his back, not just kind of stay safe, hold on, or look for submissions. He's looking to land strikes to keep you guessing, to help set up his offensive attacks. And he'll have a 3-inch height and reach advantage on the feet. You know, I see Reese winning on the feet at range. I don't think Duško will be able to hurt him on the feet. We've never really seen him hurt guys on the feet. Like I said, he's usually just using that to set up his grappling and his takedowns. And I see Zach Reese being able to manage the distance on the feet, kind of keeping Duško at bay where he can't get his takedowns, landing really good kicks, you know, keeping him on the end of his punches. And I think if it does go to the ground, I can see Zach Reese, you know, threatening with his own strikes, doing damage from bottom, and looking to get back up to his feet, where I think he'll be the faster guy and the better striker. I think Duško's fought the better competition. Punahele Soriano, Robocop Gregory Rodriguez, Chidi Njokuani, Christian Leroy Duncan for as long as it lasted, Mansour Abdul Malik, you know, Zach Reese, Cody Brundage not very good, you know, Julian Marquez, Jose Medina. Like, really the only good guy that he's fought is Azamat Bakoyev, and he lost. And he's usually, you know, he's used to these first round finishes, getting in and out of there real quick. He's only had one fight that's gone the distance, and that was against Jose Medina, and he wasn't able to get Jose Medina out of there, who I think is, I think he's a welterweight, an undisciplined welterweight who fights at middleweight. So that is a concern of mine. Can he push the 3 rounds? Can he deal with, you know, Duško, who does have a lot of experience, is pretty well rounded? But I do think he's better. I think he's better on the feet. I think he'll be able to nullify Duško's grappling, which we've seen a lot of people do in the past. And I think he can get this one done by KO. If not KO, get the decision. Thanks.